Hey guys, Jordan here from Tac today, and if you're in the market for a new $1,200 gaming PC build capable of maxing out current titles on ultra settings, this just might be the one to check out. So, let's get to it. So for the processor in this build, I've gone with the Intel Core i5-6500. And this chip is clocked at 3.2 GHz and has 4 physical cores. Now unfortunately this chip is locked, which means that it can't be overclocked, but with its turbo boost up to 3.6 GHz, it should perform nearly as well as the overclockable variant. And it's also part of Intel's latest CPU family, Skylake, which means you'll get the latest and greatest architecture along with super efficient power use. So overall, this CPU should perform very well in this build. So for the motherboard in this build, I've decided to go with the MSI H170A PCMate. And this board features the LGA1151 socket for a CPU, along with the H170 chipset from Intel. And since our CPU can't be overclocked, you can save a bit of money by not picking up the more expensive Z170 chipset. So on top of all that, this board has support for up to 64GB of DDR4 RAM, so for about $100, this motherboard should be able to get the job done nicely. So for the RAM in this build, I've gone with 8GB of G.Skill Ripjaws V-Series memory. And this RAM is clocked at 2400 MHz and has a cast latency of 15. It also comes in 2 modules for dual channel operation, so for about $35, this RAM set should do well in this build. So for the storage in this build, I've gone with both an SSD and hard drive for optimal speed and performance. So when it comes to the SSD, I picked out the Kingston SSDNow V300 series. And this SSD isn't the fastest on the market, but nonetheless, it'll still be significantly faster than its hard drive counterparts. So with this 120GB of storage, it should be plenty for your OS and maybe a few extra games that you happen to play often. So for about $40, this should be a nice addition to this build. So for the hard drive in this build, I've gone with the world-renowned 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue. And this drive obviously has 1TB of storage, along with a spindle speed of 7200 RPM and 64MB of cache. So when it comes to all your extra programs and games, this drive should have plenty of storage for just about $50. So due to this build's larger price tag, I was able to fit in an EVGA GTX 980 Ti Superclocked Edition. And according to FutureMark's most recent benchmarks, this card comes in second place, just under the AMD R9 295. So this card also is featuring 6GB of GDDR5 memory and a 1.1 GHz core clock for great performance. On top of that, it's packing EVGA's ACX 2.0 Plus cooling unit and an awesome backplate. So paired with that i5, you should be able to max out almost all games on ultra settings. So to house it all, I've chosen the NZXT Source 210 Elite. And this case comes in both black and white to match your color scheme. So with its 3 5¼ inch bays and 8 3.5-inch bays, it should be plenty to store all your drives. But keep in mind that you'll need an adapter to fit the SSD, which I'll include in the PC part picker list down below. So for just about $40, this should do the job just fine. So for the power supply in this build, I've gone with the EVGA SuperNOVA NEX 650. And this is of course a 650 watt supply, but what's really nice about it is the fact that it's fully modular, which means that you won't have all those extra cables lying around. On top of all that, it's 80+ gold certified for more efficient operation. So for about $75, you can't go wrong with this power supply. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and drop me your comments below about this month's gaming PC build, and also if you have any other future price points that you want me to cover. So thanks for watching, and see ya!